Well, what's going on there, folks? Is Earthmaster here, 9/11, 11/1/2018. There are a lot of 11s there. Anyway, a fresh new month. Two more to go, right? Well, after this one, just one more till the end of the year. November 1st already. I can't believe it. Didn't feel like it here in California. I tell you what, 87 degrees here for a daytime high. I'm sure you guys are getting kind of tired of me complaining about the weather, but I tell you what, I'm tired of the weather, period, here in this state of California. It's just, there's no weather. It's absent. No rain, and no rain in the extended forecast. It's absolutely horrible and heartbreaking, to say the least, because I'm not a fair weather, sunny type of person. I love the storms and rain, and it's nowhere to be found. It's very, very depressing, to say the least. But anyway, folks, a little bit of earthquake activity occurring around the globe today. I shouldn't say a little bit, because there's actually been quite a bit here. Take a look on the earthquake 3D globe here that I have pulled up. The deep earthquake activity returns to the Fiji Islands area, or within the vicinity there, with this 4.3 magnitude earthquake just a short time ago. At a depth of almost 600 kilometers deep there. Very, very deep earthquake. A little bit older earthquake here taking place, but still very deep as well. A 4.3 over here around the Indonesia Islands region at 569 kilometers below the surface there, with that deep earthquake. So large, well, I'd say moderate, deep movement occurring along parts of the Pacific Ring of Fire. Not to mention another one just up north here. So we're looking at, you can pretty much draw a line here from the Fiji Islands over here to Indonesia, and then you kind of swing up here, follow the Pacific Ring of Fire up towards the what is that, Japan region up there, with this other deep earthquake 4.0 occurring at 346, a little bit more closer to the surface, but nonetheless some deep activity occurring on this beautiful globe that we happen to be spinning on, called planet Earth here. Within the surface range area, see quite a few fours through this area as well, Indonesia Islands area. Looking over here on this side of the world, older earthquake activity. Still some aftershock activity occurring near the Greece region there, following that large earthquake they had quite some time ago. And of course that will be the norm here for a little bit, and it will slowly die out as the area adjusts from that large magnitude earthquake they had. Nothing out of the norm within that area right now, so that's probably a good thing. Some more earthquake activity occurring in northern Alaska. Now, if you remember here, about a month or two ago, they had a fairly large earthquake in that area as well. I think the largest one to hit that part of the state in recorded history. So aftershock activity can occur many months after the main magnitude strikes. So that's, you know, not abnormal. 3.1 magnitude earthquake right now taking place here. Let me see if I can find out exactly where that's at. Let me pull up a different map here and show you guys just a lot of activity occurring along the North American craton, or around it. You know, it's kind of, I'll have to explain it here in just a second. 1 second here. Let's bring up that. Okay, I guess we could use this here. This here is the latest map from the USGS, of course. 1 day, 2.5 magnitudes there, you can see. Zoom into the area where that little red circle is, and we can get to the most recent earthquake there in western Texas, it looks like, near Pecos, Texas, 3.1 at a depth of 1.3 miles. Now, just within this vicinity here, within the 1 day, we've had a little bit of earthquake activity up in Oklahoma and kind of towards the Arkansas-Tennessee border over here. Mostly small earthquakes there. New Mexico did have a 3.4 earthquake there. Earlier, way earlier, I believe, if not close to being yesterday. Of course, this is still the magnitude one day here. So definitely some activity occurring. Let's go 7 days. All magnitudes US. Hopefully that doesn't blow anything up. Continue anyway. So, oops. Activity has been pretty quiet for the most part over here, folks. Not a whole lot. And this is looking back the last 7 days of all magnitudes just within this vicinity here of the area that I was talking about along the North American Craton, which kind of extends up through this region here and back over to the west. And that Craton is this area right here, pretty much a part of the continent that really hasn't seen much movement whatsoever. Hold on a second here. You guys can't see what I'm looking at here, but I just kind of wanted to read to you guys here real quick what they state, at least from Wikipedia. You guys probably can't see this, but anyway, the North American Craton, not crouton, right? The North American Craton. Croutons sound yummy, I know. I said that the other night. Is a large continental craton that forms the ancient geological core of the North American continent. And many times in its past, it has been a separate continent, but let's see, as it is now in the form of North America, although originally it also included the cratonic areas of Greenland and also the northwestern part of Scotland. So a lot of different geological features were taking place long time ago. But either way, North American Craton is part of the crust, or continental crust, that has remained relatively stable for the past 600 million years. So everything around it, and I'm talking pretty much from western Montana, or western Wyoming, down through portions of Colorado and New Mexico. That's as far as it goes to the west. South, I need to show you guys this here real quick. Let me see if I can't pull this up and get you guys seeing what I'm seeing here. I'll just stand by for 1 second, but it's pretty cool. It's really interesting to study stuff like that because that craton has been around for a very long time. Let's go like this. Okay. Let me see if you guys can see this here now. Okay, it's a little tiny. Let's blow it up here so we can see what you were talking about. Okay, so the craton, North American Craton, is that brown area right there, the brown shaded color. Of course, you got the Rockies built up towards a deformed craton, and over there to the west, the rest of the stuff. But the craton, that hasn't moved. It's a piece of landmass, ancient landmass, that has been solid as a rock, while everything else pretty much moves around it and deforms and changes shape. But yeah, it's continental crust that has remained relatively stable for the past 6,000 or 600 million years. I'm sorry, 600 million years. So we got all this activity occurring, you know, for the most part, right around it. You guys can't see my cursor, but you can follow that brown line there that goes through New Mexico, portions of West Texas, southern Texas, right there where we've seen that latest earthquake there, that 3.1 near Pecos, Texas. That's right at the bottom, pretty much right about the southern tip there of the North American Craton. And then you got activity occurring kind of up towards Oklahoma and Tennessee area, and that pretty much just follows the edge of that craton area. And then of course you got Yellowstone up there as well. It's a whole complex of interesting activity. You know, if you get a chance, go check it out. Just type in North American Craton there in the Wikipedia section, and it's got quite a few cool articles in regards to this area. But I just wanted to point that out in a retrospect to, excuse me, the activity that we're seeing kind of towards New Mexico, Texas, and over towards Tennessee with this earthquake activity occurring pretty much right on that edge of the Craton area. I started losing my voice there for a second for some reason. But anyway, other than that, let's go ahead and get off there real quick, the USGS site. And we'll take a look at the latest information from Caltech, Nevada, California. Most recent earthquake map here is pretty mellow. Not a whole lot of activity report. I did post a little interesting article about this mud pit that's kind of moving down in Southern California. If you go check it out, it's on my Facebook page there at the Earthmaster. And it's interesting, you know, just because there's something moving down there like this mud pit that's kind of rapidly progressing towards, I believe it's a train track or highway. I can't remember. But that doesn't necessarily mean that there's an impending big earthquake. It's just, according to the folks, the USGS folks and the scientists and all those people that have, you know, the diplomas on their wall at home, state that it's just from past larger earthquakes and the land just pretty much adjusting to those former earthquakes there, you know, centuries ago. So who knows? Of course, it is in a pretty populated area down there in Southern California, so you know, definitely don't want to cause panic, right? That's not a good thing. A bunch of mud traveling around 60 feet a day. Yeah, go check it out if you get a chance, folks, if you haven't already. But other than that, well, let's see here. Let's check out the slow slip event. Oh, whoa, what's going on there? What do we got? Not for sure what happened there. Okay, anyway, for the most part, let me go ahead and refresh that slow slip event thing there. I checked it earlier. There's not really a whole lot new to report. There's some activity down in southern Oregon area. You can see that, oops, you can see that red dots right there. I can't really, you guys can't really see that, but this is the last 3 hours of activity. Just kind of pretty much confined in southern Oregon near Medford. And pretty much under like the Cascadia subduction zone area. But nothing major. Nothing big time to talk about. Pretty mellow for the most part. We've seen a lot of activity over the past few months there, and it's just kind of doing its thing. Not pointing towards anything. Of course, who knows? I could say that and then something happens. So, earthquake, pretty large earthquake down there around the Chile region, 6.2, that occurring earlier today. You can see that pretty large dome of an earthquake there. That's coming from that 6.2 right there. Since then, we've seen some aftershock activity following that 6.2 with quite a few 4s there just south of the region popping off. So, other than that, folks, deep earthquake activity on the rise, and of course, we always tend to watch for further activity following these deep earthquakes along the Pacific Plate. And that's what we will continue to do. Once again, folks, have a good night out there. Go on Facebook if you do use social media and check out that article I was talking about there in Southern California about this mud pit moving. I can't remember exactly how big it is, but it's significant enough to cause a little stir within the region. So stay safe out there, folks. Have an earthquake plan. Make sure you got plenty of stuff stocked up just in case. Peace.